Hey, good morning, everybody. Thanks for watching. Um, Drinking coffee, getting woke up this morning, getting ready for Toledo Bend and the KBF Trail Championships and I guess we got the 100 online challenge championships, and we're fishing Toledo Bend for basically $30,000. I'm fishing both tournaments, so if I can somehow get enough fish to win both, that's 30 grand. So that's what we're going after. But I just want to talk to you guys a little bit today about maps. We're going to do a little bit of map review. Probably going to break some things up so it's not such big videos. But yeah, so online maps are great. Paper maps are great. And they serve two completely different purposes, in my opinion. When I'm off the water and I'm trying to do some research at home, like I am today, I'm using paper maps. I've got a paper map collection of, I'm trying to think if there's any, I pretty much collect maps of any body of water that I go to. I'll try to find a tackle shop, or I'll find somewhere online and get the paper map ordered before I go. And the reason for that is, well, I'll show you the reason. You learn so much more information off of the paper maps than you do online. So many times these lakes have local names of certain places on the lake that you can't find anywhere else. The only way you're going to figure out, you hear people talk about certain places like on Toledo Bend, the chicken coop. Well, good luck finding that on Navionics or CMap or any of the other online mapping tools. Good luck. You're not going to find that. So there's all sorts of little localized names and things that you have no idea where places like that are. And so I picked up a really cool map online. I've never heard of this brand before. It's called Hook and Line. Right there, Hook and Line. And they're out of Houston, Texas, so they're fairly local. It's not, it's Toledo Bend. It's not a map that's made out in California somewhere. So I like this. And I just got it the other day, so, this is pretty new to me. But what I'm going to do is we're going to go, I'm working on a home office right now. This is kind of in my living room right now, but I'm working on a home office. And we're going to get this map stretched out up on the wall. And we're going to look at some stuff. I'm going to show you guys what I'm looking at. It might be wrong. It might not be right. But that's what I'm looking at. I'll just show y'all where my mind's at. And we'll dig into some map stuff, and I'll show you guys why you've got to have paper maps. You got to have paper maps in your toolbox. That's all it is. All right, before we stretch this map out and I start showing you guys some spots and showing you what I'm thinking about, just kind of doing some brainstorming right here with you guys. It's fall. I know there's been a few fronts starting to come through down there in Toledo Bend. And up here in Kentucky, it's cold. It's, we got a chance for snow tomorrow or maybe Sunday. But so the fronts are starting to push through. And in my mind, it's been hot down there. The water temps have been up in the 90s. Last time I looked, the lake is about 3.5 foot low and on the rise. That's good. Water temps are coming down. There's 77, 78 degrees, something like that. So in my mind, I think these shad, because I think that's their primary forage down there, the shad are going to start balling up. They're going to start moving to the backs of the creeks. And that's what I'm looking for. I'm thinking shallow. I'm going to look shallow. You never, ever, ever rule out deep water fish, especially on Toledo Bend, Lake Fork, those kinds of places. You never want to rule that out. But I'm looking shallow. That's I'm going to start looking at some major feeding creeks and show you guys what I'm looking at. Now, I heard and I've read and I've talked to some people, and the word is that the grass is maybe non-existent on Toledo Bend this year. That's that's not good. The past several years, I know a lot of the top guys have been fishing grass. That's what I always look for if I'm fishing a lake that I know has grass. That Toledo Bend didn't always have grass. So if it doesn't have grass, that's not, you're just going to have to change your approach. Channel swings. And And I'm not talking your big main river channel swings. I'm talking little small creek channel swings. You get in the backs of these creeks, find the creek channels, find some cover that those channels swing up against, and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. A lake of this size of Toledo Bend, I feel like you really got to break it up into thirds. You've got the upper lake, the mid lake, and you've got the southern part of the lake. And we're going to go see if we can't find some things on the map that once we get down there pre-fishing, we won't have to play so much guessing game. We'll have a list of, 7, 8, 9, maybe even 10 different areas that we could go pre-fish, and we're just going to make decisions on the fly. So let's go look at the map. This is why I really feel that a paper map is, I think it's superior to the online maps. I know the online maps show you more contours, and that's really important, especially when you're on the water. But I feel like you get more information from the actual paper maps. So, and what I mean by that, like right here you can kind of see their legend, and they're going to show you where the river and creek beds are, old lake beds, which I assume those are probably like old ponds before the, off the Sabine River. Of course, you got road beds, and they highlight their fishing areas with, red stripes. So that's pretty handy. And there's a couple other handy things I'm going to show you about this map in regards to fishing areas. The timber and stump areas are highlighted in green, which, if you look at this lake, I mean, it's all dotted in green. So there's stumps everywhere. Railroad beds, pipelines, the boat lanes. Being in a kayak, don't have to worry about that so much, but it is handy to know where the bass boaters will be primarily running. And then you got, shows you little marshy areas. And these GPS tags are going to be pretty important. I'm going to show you some things that this map provides that I think is going to be really important. And here's the thing that I like about having a map that's local. So all this information came from these guides. They all contributed to making this map, and that's, assuming these guys were honest in their contributions, which, I feel like they probably were. They're not going to steer people wrong necessarily. So I like that it had some contributions, so you feel like there's a little bit of wisdom behind it. So let's dig into some of this stuff. So they give you a list of all the boat ramps and the types of facilities that they've got. It may be hard to read, but some of them are tackle shops, some of them are restaurants, some of them have gas, some of them don't. There's all sorts of data there, but the good thing is you got boat ramps, and being in a kayak, that's really all you need. So looks like they've probably got close to at least 50 boat ramps published on here, but there's probably more. So another little thing, this is neat. I've actually never seen this on a paper map before. You've got an ID number, you've got a local name, and that's what I was talking about earlier in places like the Chicken Coop. They actually give you the local name of these areas, and then they give you a calendar, and it tells you during what months, what species are popular at this particular area, and what baits they recommend. And comments. They've got a little, I think it's on the other side of the map, but they've got a little comment section where they'll lay a little comment down about certain things. And then they also give you a GPS coordinate to this area. So not only can you see it, you get the actual GPS coordinate as well. And if you go on down at the bottom of this, you see their legend. So a capital B is black bass. And if it has an asterisk by it, that's an excellent month to fish for that particular species. So capital B is black bass, so that's what we're looking for. And here's your bait legend. CB is crankbaits. F is flipping, jigs. We're not worried about live bait. Plastic worms is PW. Swimming baits is SB. Spinner baits, SP. And then topwater is TW. So it's pretty cool. You can kind of look at this chart and say, okay, well, I'm going to be here in October, November. I'm looking for capital B with an asterisk because, oh, right there we go. So it looks like jigs, plastic worms, swimming baits like crankbaits, and spinnerbaits, and that's Patroon Bay, number 76. So we would find Patroon Bay, find that number, and you know, it's a good place to start. They got a lot of information there. It's pretty handy. All right, so I kind of gave you guys a quick rundown of the map. Shows you guys why I really feel like there's a lot more information on the paper maps than your digital maps. Obviously, you get more contour lines with your digital maps, but as far as overall amount of information, I feel like you really benefit from having both. Now, the next step is to start kind of digging through the map and getting really in detail on some of these areas and start picking the ones we want to pre-fish and the ones that we maybe don't want to pre-fish. So let's dig in.